Hey guys, MG Extra Fun here, and today we're going to talk about the second part of the Ixalan spoilers. So this is the last cards, I think, that are left to spoil. And we have one or two of the cards from the last part that weren't in English that we have an actual English printing of now. So we can make sure that what we were talking about before was right. So, the first card that we have is Yona, Butcher of Margan, I think is how you say that. And what it is a 4/4 for 5 with Vigilance and Lifelink. You can tap it, pay 7 life, destroy target non-land permanent, activate this ability only during your turn. So it's a vampire too. Vampires seem to be really, really strong in this set, and I really like it. It definitely is going to be a big thing, I think. And the next card we have is Vraska Relic Seeker, a 6 loyalty planeswalker for 6 mana, and you create a 2/2 black vampire token. And then her second ability, you can destroy an artifact, creature, or enchantment, and you create a colorless treasure token, which is sacrifices artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. And then her ultimate is target player's life total becomes 1. So that's like Sorin, but a lot more powerful. I think that's definitely going to be a very strong card. Then we have Sunblessed Mount. It is a 4/4 for 5. It's a dinosaur. Sunblessed Mount enters the battlefield. You may search your library and or graveyard for a card named, I don't know how you say her name, Hewley?
What? What the f?
Like that? Anyways, Dragon Knight. Reveal it and put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. So this is one of the cards that's going to be in the Planeswalker deck, obviously. And then another card we have is Regisaur Alpha. So other dinosaurs you control have haste, and when Regisaur Alpha enters the battlefield, create a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token with trample. So that's pretty good. It's also a 4/4 for 5, and it's a dinosaur, which is nice. Moving on, we have artifact stuff. So we have Dowsing Dagger. It's a 2-drop artifact equipment. When Dowsing Dagger enters the battlefield, target opponent creates a 0/2 green plant token with Defender. Equipped creature gets +2/+1, and whenever equipped creature deals damage to a player, you may transform Dowsing Dagger, and it has a equip cost of 2. And it transforms into Lost Veil. So Lost Veil is, you tap it, add 3 mana of any 1 color to your mana pool. So Lost Veil is basically just a Lotus Bloom, or not Lotus Bloom. Well, yeah, it is a Lotus Bloom, but it's a Gilded Lotus. That's what I was trying to say. Gilded Lotus is the 5-drop artifact that you tap to add 3 mana of any color. And now we have Fell Flagship. Pirates you control get +1/+0, and when Fell Flagship deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. And it has Crew of 3, which means you tap creatures with total power 3 to crew it and turn it into a creature. And it's a 3/3 for 3. And then we have Pirate Cutlass. Pirate Cutlass is a 3-drop artifact equipment. When Pirate Cutlass enters the battlefield, attaches to target pirate you control. Equipped creature gets +2/+1, and it has equipped for 2. So nothing too special, but it's there for the flavor, man. And then we have the red cards we're going to move on to now. So the first one we have is Willy Goblin. It is a 1/1 for 2 red. Willy Goblin enters the battlefield, create a colorless treasure artifact token with tap, sacrifices artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So that's okay, it's just kind of a generic uncommon. Then we have Stormfleet Arsonist. It is a 5-drop for a 4/4 with Raid. When Stormfleet Arsonist enters the battlefield, if you attack with a creature this turn, target opponent sacrifices a permanent. So that's good. That's very good. So you play it in an aggro deck, and then you drop this, and they have to sacrifice a permanent. Not a non-land permanent, a permanent. So I think that's going to be really good. And now the next card we have is Raptor Hatchling. It is a 1/1 for 2 with Enrage. When Raptor Hatchling is dealt damage, create a 3/3 green dinosaur token with Trample. So, it's going to be probably a little bit later on, but I'm making a deck tech with Enrage as a main mechanic because I think it's a really, really fun mechanic. So you'll be seeing that in the future. It's a standard deck. And then we have Rampaging Ferocidon. So Rampaging Ferocidon is a 3/3 for 3 with Menace, which means it can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. and players can't gain life, which is pretty good. And then whenever another creature enters the battlefield, Rampaging Ferocidon deals 1 damage to that creature's controller. So if they're playing a token deck, they're going to be taking a lot of damage. That card's going to be really good. Then we have Odapek Huntmaster. So it's a 1/2 for 2. Dinosaur spells cost 1 less to cast. That's like the third one. There's the Shaman and the other one that makes dinosaurs cost less. I mean, no, those make dragons cost less. Never mind, forget I said anything. Target dinosaur gains haste until end of turn. That's pretty good. That's a really, really solid card, I think. Now we move on to Ryle. So Ryle is another card that's going to be in that Enrage deck, because it deals 1 damage to target creature you control, and that creature gains trample until end of turn, and you draw a card. So Enrage obviously is when it's dealt damage, you get an effect, which is pretty nice. And Ryle is a really, really fun card. I wish it was an instant though. And we have Dinosaur Stampede, which is literally just Trumpet Blast, but for dinosaurs. Attacking creatures get +2/+0 until end of turn, and dinosaurs you control get trampled until end of turn. So it's Trumpet Blast that has another effect if it's dinosaurs. And now we're moving on to the green cards. This card is the most expensive card right now, and I think it's going to stay the most expensive because it is basically a reprint of another card, but it has a catch to it. So, Growing Rights of Illimanok. When Growing Rights of Illimanok enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 4 or more creatures, transform Growing Rights Illimanok. And it becomes Gaia's Cradle, Illimanok, Cradle of the Sun. So it's a legendary land. You tap it at a green to your mana pool, or you can tap it and add a green to your mana pool for each creature you control. That is crazy. Gaia's Cradle obviously is still going to be way more expensive because A, it's old, and B, it doesn't have to transform before it does this. But that card I think is still going to be worth a pretty good amount of money, especially in EDH. It's going to be worth a lot. Now we're moving on to Grazing Whiptail. It is a 3/4 for 4 with reach. That's all it is. Doesn't really do much. Then we have Thundering Spineback. The Thundering Spineback is a 5/5 for 7. Other dinosaurs you control get +1/+1. You can pay 6 to create a 3/3 green dinosaur token with trample. It's a lot of mana for to create a 3/3, but it's a dinosaur lord, so they're a 4/4 really. And we have Slice and Twain. This is a reprint from a couple other sets. You destroy an artifact or enchantment, and then you draw a card for 4 mana. It's okay. Excuse me. And then we have Savage Stomp. Savage Stomp is a 3-drop sorcery. Savage Stomp costs 2 less to cast if it targets a dinosaur you control. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, then that creature fights the target creature you don't control. So this is another way to activate the Enrage because they'll fight, and they'll deal damage to each other. And the last green card we have is Ranging Raptors. So Ranging Raptors is another one of the creatures with Enrage. It's a 2/3 for 3. When Ranging Raptors is dealt damage, you may search your library for a basic land and put it in the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library. So I don't know if he's going to be in the deck, but he's really, really fun. So now we're going to move on to the blue cards. So we have Spell Swindle. This is a really expensive counter spell, but you get a bunch of treasure tokens. So Spell Swindle is a 5-drop instant. Counter target spell and create X colorless treasure artifact tokens, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. And they have tap, sacrifices artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So you counter a 10-drop spell, you get 10 treasures. So you basically got a counter spell for 0 that adds 10 mana, or adds 5 mana. Now we have Favorable Winds. I personally really love the art on this in comparison to the old art, because the old art had a bunch of like Pegasus flying around, and it looked kind of weird. But this is like they're like kind of like snake dragons. They kind of remind me of Kukulkan from Smite. I don't know if anybody plays Smite, but it's what they remind me of. So Favorable Winds is a 2-drop enchantment. Creatures with flying get +1/+1. Creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. Then the next card we're going to move on to is Opt. So this is I saw a post a while ago that was saying, is this modern? And it showed there's like 3 cards in this set that are used in Modern, and Opt is one of them. Opt is really, really good because you scry 1 and you draw a card for 1 mana. That seems pretty good, especially at instant speed. Now we have Overflowing Insight. This card is crazy. I wish it wasn't a mythic, because it's not going to be worth that much, but it's a mythic, and it's still pretty good, I guess. So you pay 7, and target player draws 7 cards. There's no drawback to it. You just draw 7 cards. Then we have Spell Pierce. Another reprint for Modern is, obviously, Spell Pierce is counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2. And it's a 1-drop instant. So, it's alright. I mean, it's a negate that costs 1 less, but it doesn't just hard out counter it. And then next we have Stormfleet Aerialist. So it's a 1/2 for 2 with flying and raid. When Stormfleet Aerialist
Today, Junior,
enters the battlefield, if you with a +1/+1 counter, if you attacked with a creature this turn. God, I can't talk right now. I'm so sorry. Raid. Stormfleet Aerialist enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it if you attacked with a creature this turn. There we go. Next card we have is Stormfleet Spy. So Stormfleet Spy again has Raid, and it's a 2/2 for 3. When Stormfleet Spy enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, you draw a card. That's really not bad at all for a 3 mana. So we have Search for Azcanta. So it is a 2-drop legendary enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may put that card in your graveyard. Then if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, you may transform it. And it transforms into Azcanta, the Sunken Ruins. So you can tap it to add a blue to your mana pool, or you can pay 2 and a blue. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an enchantment. You may reveal a non-creature, non-land card from among them and put it in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. I don't know why I said enchantment. I really don't know. Okay, anyways, so that's really good. I really like the cycle that's in here with the transforms from an enchantment or a creature to a land. It's really, or an artifact to a land. It's really cool. So now we have Lookout's Dispersal. It's a 3-drop instant. Lookout's Dispersal costs 1 less for if you control a pirate. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 4. So it's basically like Mana Leak if you control a pirate, except they have to pay an extra, because Mana Leak is counter a spell unless they pay 3. And then next we have Chart a Course. Chart a Course is a 2-drop sorcery. You draw 2 cards and discard a card unless you attacked with a creature this turn. So if you attack with a creature, that card is really, really good. If you don't attack with a creature, you have to discard a card. And then we're moving on to the black cards. We have Bishop of the Bloodstain. So it is a 3/3 for 5 Vampire Cleric. When Bishop of the Bloodstain enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 1 life for each vampire you control. So that's really good, especially with all the creatures from the commander deck and from this set that create vampire tokens. So it gets pretty out of hand after a while. And then we have Duress, another reprint. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. That player discards that card. So for 1 mana, that's really not too bad. Kitesail Freebooter is a 1/2 for 2. 1/2 for 2s are very common in this set, it seems. With flying, when Kitesail Freebooter enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. Exile that card until Kitesail Freebooter leaves the battlefield. So that's pretty good. It reminds me of the bug from one of the like Born of the Gods or something that does the same thing. Sorry, I'm a little congested today, guys, if you couldn't tell. Then we have Lurking Chupacabra. So this is this art's a little interesting. It is a 2/3 for 4. Whenever a creature you control explores, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-2 until end of turn. It kind of reminds me of a Chimera from Full Metal Alchemist. I'm giving you secrets about all of the things that I like in this episode, it seems. I'm making all kinds of references. Anyway, Sanctum Seeker is a 3/4 for 4 Vampire Knight. When a vampire you control attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So that's a lot. So basically, I don't know how exactly this card works, but if it's every time a creature attacks, so each individual vampire will trigger the ability. That's crazy. That's really, really good. And then next we have Skittering Heartstopper. So it's a 1/2 for 1, and you can pay a black. Skittering Heartstopper gets Death Touch until end of turn. That's pretty good. I feel like that would be really good in limited. Then the last color we have is white. So we have Duskborn Sky Marcher. So it's a 1/1 for 1 with flying. pay a white, target attacking vampire gets +1/+1 until end of turn. A 1/1 with flying in its own right is not bad. And then we have Legion Conquistador. It's a 2/2 for 3 vampire soldier. When Legion Conquistador enters the battlefield, you may search your library for any number of cards named Legion Conquistador, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. So this is like Squadron Hawk, but it doesn't have flying and it's a bigger body. I don't know if you remember Squadron Hawk does the same thing. Then we have Legion's Landing. Legion's Landing enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. When you attack with 3 or more creatures, transform Legion's Landing. And then the last card that we have that Legion's Landing transforms into is in Adanto, the first fort? Yeah. You add a white to your mana pool, or you can pay 2 colorless and a white, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. So that's not bad. Again, like I said before, there's a lot of ways that you can make vampire tokens. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is my weekly news for this week, because I figured spoilers are something that's really relevant right now, and I haven't decided if I'm going to do it later this week or next week is going to be the spoilers that have been released for the Iconic Masters set, and that set looks spicy. There's a lot of really high value reprints, and there's a lot of junk, like there always is in a Masters set, but we'll see what happens. I mean, mana drain. That's all I have to say is mana drain. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. It really helps me out. Subscribe if you're new or you haven't subscribed already. Share this video with your friends, family. Share it on your Twitter, Facebook. It really helps. And leave a comment and tell me how I'm doing. I appreciate that the most, and I read every single comment I get. Thank you guys so much for watching.